it doesn't feel right, but the rules are there. It's a standard action. Like, you only get one standard action a turn.
I get that, but if I only get one standard action, why can I attack twice? I just don't understand that.
Because you're not attacking twice. You have a full attack. Your full attack, and as you level up more, you're gonna have more than 2 attacks.
I get that. That's what I'm saying. Like, how is that any different than taking these 2 hits?
You get to decide right now if you want to attack.
I mean, that's fine if we're moving
twice.
forward. If we decide that's something we can lay down. But that's not how I've understood it. I have understood cleave to be 1 attack.
But you've always rolled twice and made 2 attacks.
Because you have to roll
made 2 hits.
You have to roll against their AC.
And you've only ever had 1 attack. So that I understand why you're a little confused about it. But now going forward, you're going to get more than 1 attack. Your full attack is going to be more powerful than just 1 attack. So now you're going to have to decide if it's worth hitting one enemy multiple times or hitting multiple enemies with that same higher bonus, you know?
Question. Yeah, I think what Alex just said is true.
If we do that, I feel like we need to make a mechanic to where, like, the first roll I make is, like, against both of the ACs in that situation.
But that's not how it works. You have to make the second.
I feel like it probably should be, though, if we're talking about it's 1 fucking swing. I mean, that's where I get, like, I don't understand how it's different. Why would my attack be any less on the second person than it was on the first?
Maybe,
or any higher, for that matter.
I think it's accounting for what happens when you swing your weapon through that enemy. So it's like cleave is the act of you swinging that sword through that enemy, and maybe it chinks on its armor and changes. Maybe, things can happen in that swing to make it harder. Like what? Whereas
how do you marry that idea?
What's that?
And if my second roll is higher,
yeah. So you
just
swing and you
slice through the bread, and you went in with a lot more power than you thought it was going to be harder than it was, and it just wasn't.
You aim. Like maybe it takes a deflection as it goes through that guy, it hits a bone or something, and it moves into a better position against that second enemy. I still think it's an advantage to take cleave. I mean, in this particular scenario, cleave, you get to do more damage overall, just in pure damage economy.
Hey, I want to throw this into the mix. This is the wording that's on the PFSRD. You can attack more than 1 foe when you take your multiple attacks, Alex.
Wait, do you still have to take that minus?
I just put it in the thing. No, but I'm saying, like, he doesn't have to attack the same guy for his full attack action.
If you get more than 1 attack per round because you fight.
There's a guy that quoted something that where it says special reason in that, it like had in parentheses feet and something else, and I can't find where he quoted that from, but I do see that it says, Alex, that you can decide, like you can take an attack and then decide, like, okay, on this next attack I'm gonna attack this guy. It definitely says that.
It says after your first attack, you can decide to take a move action instead of taking your remaining attacks, depending on how fast.
It says you can see how the earlier attacks turn out before assigning the later ones. You don't need to specify the targets of your attacks ahead of time.
So even if you can attack 2 guys, though, that second attack comes with that minus.
Yeah. So
yes. So that's the benefit of taking cleave, is because that your first attack is a cleave attack.
Still a straight upgrade.
So let's say Lupin had 3 attacks. Could Lupin take a cleave and then another attack? Is that how that works?
Not by the way that you guys are arguing it, and that's why I say that cleave is a little nerfed in that situation. Again, like I don't have a dog in this fight here. I'm genuinely trying to find out, but I think cleave is a little nerfed in that situation.
Well, I still don't understand how, because then even if he could, a normal round, he didn't move, he can make both his attacks, right? you can attack target A and target B, but target B is -5. But
No,
if
no,
you use
Hayden
cleave,
said if you have 3 attacks, like at the point that you have 3 attacks, cleave is no longer beneficial because you
the
have a
point that you
third
have
attack.
3 attacks, you're fucking level 12 and you don't give a shit about
R-
cleave. Like
Yeah,
you're
I think it's once you get 3 attacks, you sort of maybe. I mean, this is true with a lot of feats, though. That you sort of outgrow them.
That's sort of what
It
the
becomes
form I'm reading is talking about, specifically when it gets to the third attack. For I don't know, I don't pretend to understand why the third attack makes a difference, but
It's
I mean,
because at that
it's
point, Lee,
still
you can
it's still
attack 3
good.
more
times instead of
powerful.
twice.
Yeah.
Say if you take greater cleave, if you take greater cleave, if you can get 3 enemies in adjacent places, then you can make that advantageous. But that is like, yeah, that's a big ask sometimes. To say like, oh, I always have to try to get in combat and be with 3 guys so I can attack 3 different guys
So
without the minus of my
I
attacks.
think the
But
biggest thing is you've always equated a standard action to 1 attack, but cleave has given you the opportunity to take that standard action and make it 2 attacks up until this point. Now your normal standard action is worth 2 attacks. So you're going to have to decide when it's advantageous to cleave versus when it's advantageous to just use your normal standard action of 2 attacks.
I mean, it's fine if we'd establish that. I mean, if that's what we're going to establish and say, that's fine, but that's not how it has read to me. And nor does it still, but I mean, it's fine if we decide that. That's up to Hayden.
I think, I do honestly think what Alex is saying makes the most sense to me. And with what I know of Pathfinder, specifically feats are things that are really tricky, and you certainly outgrow feats in time. They become more or less advantageous.
Well, I think I think this is one thing, and I feel bad about this, is we encourage Lee towards cleave, and at this point, cleave is quickly becoming obsolete, and it feels a little.
No, it's
whatever.
not obsolete now.
It is
By
not.
level
That
12, it might be.
is
By
so
the time you
annoying
get 3
that
attacks, maybe, but no.
wow, I'm not super overpowered. All my abilities suck now. That's not true, dude. It's still very useful and has very good there are very good opportunities where it's going to be powerful. Like right now, if he would just do it, it would be powerful. But just
Well,
because he doesn't get an
think,
additional attack on top of it.
I mean, I can appreciate the idea though that like not like whatever, especially in classes where you don't get feats so often. It does suck to get to a point and be like, that feat is not one I can use much anymore. But I think we might get to that point. But certainly right now, even the way that I'm interpreting this, cleave is still advantageous. Specifically in this scenario, it is the most advantageous thing. It's basically a +5 to that second attack, which is awesome to always have when you have a second enemy. Until you get that third attack, it's not obsolete. Feels like a strong word for what it is.
And I mean, a direct, Lee, take this. A direct example of why you can't just take the roll for 1 swing and roll it for the second is in play right now. You're flanking the first enemy. You're not flanking the second enemy. You can't take that first roll on both attacks. You know what I'm saying? It just
Say
it
that
doesn't
again.
because of where Mantle is standing and where you're standing, you're flanking the first hit of your cleave, but you're
Okay.
not flanking the second hit. So
Okay.
you can't just take the first roll as the roll for everything.
Which is why I feel like we have to roll again. But that's what I'm saying. Like that's why I don't consider it a second attack. I just consider it you have to play the number that person has.
Yeah, and I mean, it's just
it
a
functions
swing is not
mechanically as a
an
second attack.
Yeah, just
I
the way
think
the game works. A swing
economically.
of your sword is not an attack. Yeah, they're
And
not equal to each other.
I don't want to muddy the waters too much, but does Mantle get the flanking thing with being grappled?
No,
I don't know. I don't
I
know.
have-
ranged attacks.
Yeah, I have no idea about that.
I don't think she does get the flank. Yeah, I don't think Lupine gets the flanking because Mantle's grappled.
Because she couldn't make an attack.
Right.
Oh, okay.
So that enemy's attention doesn't have to be split.
Oof.
Yeah.
You guys are gonna love Dark Souls. You should try Dark Souls.
Hmm.
Yeah, obviously, whatever your rule goes, Hayden, but I think if we're going to start not saying standard actions are standard actions, that might get scary later on when a lot of stuff is happening and there are a lot of things going on per round.
Yeah,
That's
I
my
think.
only worry.
Yeah.
I think that that's fully fine. I just think I genuinely feel bad that we encourage Lee to get cleave, because Alex, I understand what you're saying. I understand when you're arguing what you argue, but like I'm trying to read like forums after forums about cleave and like how this works or whatever, and like some people are like, look, we just play it like cleave is an attack, and so you'll get your second attack. And then other people are like, no, you don't play it that way. And then there's a consistent through that, like cleave
What is
sucks.
this
It's a
3.5
trap.
I keep seeing? Are y'all seeing that when you look it up? Like,
That's
I don't know what
Dungeons and
Cleave
Dragons.
3.5 is.
Yeah, it's D&D. Yeah.
Even though
And
I'm on a Pathfinder thing, they're still talking about dungeons.
yeah,
Okay.
well, Cleave
That's where a
in
lot
of
D&D
them-
worked a lot differently than it works in Pathfinder, actually.
Yeah.
Cleave, you had to actually kill the enemy, and it
To
was
get
just
the
a
next
static feat that you had. If you killed someone, you could just go and attack the next one too.
Gotcha.
It was like just a thing. You didn't have to say, I'm cleaving. It was just like, I killed this guy, there's a guy here, I can now cleave him. Like, that's just the way it worked. You would cleave through, you know? But
And I do, and I do like I feel what you're saying, Austin. I do feel bad in a certain way, like Lee, that we encouraged Cleve, and it may phase out, like as time goes on. But I also can't, like, I chalk that up as well to, as much as we had more information than Lee walking into this. None of us have ever played characters maybe even this high ever before in Pathfinder, and this is just the experience of playing this game for the first time and learning as we go about, like, okay, so this doesn't scale as well. That's okay. Like, it's not game breaking. It's not whatever. That is what it is. Like, nobody
I get
nobody
it. He
fucked
could
Lee
have just
over in a
gone
way
after.
that's like, oh, sorry we broke your character, Lee. Sorry that Lupine doesn't do enough damage now. Like, you know what I mean? Like, Lupine isn't broken.
He could have gone after stuff that was more desirable.
Sure, but
Cleave is
in a metagaming
desirable.
sense, yeah, he could
It's
have
not. It's
min-maxed his
garbage.
character to be
That
more
is
efficient.
bullshit.
But
Don't sit there and say that. No, come on. You're overreacting and you're being a baby. He's got to play with it for 3 years now and he's loved it. You can't diminish those times. You can't
Yeah,
say
every
it's
time
garbage.
you know, Lee has used it for 3 years as if it
And
was
he's
part of
had
an attack.
fun. He's had fun with it. So you can't sit there and say it's garbage.
It is garbage. He should have
it's
taken
not
another
garbage.
feat.
No,
He
that's
should
not.
have not.
Okay,
That isn't
let's all
fair. I mean,
re-roll
that's
our
like,
characters to level 1 and redo the last 3 years of our lives because now it's going to be a bad experience.
Come on, man. That's not what I said. You know, that's not what I said.
You're treating it like that and it's frustrating because this has been a
Okay,
fun
you
experience.
can get frustrated, and that's fine. That's not what I'm saying. So if you want to talk about somebody who's acting like a baby, that's not what I'm saying. I'm saying we encourage
How am I
Lee to go
acting like a
towards
baby by
cleave.
pointing out that? I don't
We
think that's
encouraged
acting like
Lee
a
to
baby.
go towards cleave and told him that it was going to be a really good thing. And he's actually been using it as part of a full round attack. He has been using it as a part of his attack. He's been taking another attack after that up until this point.
Well,
No, he hasn't because he's never had 2 attacks before. So
yeah, I don't think
what do
we've
you
come to this
mean?
before
He
now.
hasn't.
We
This is the
leveled up
first time he's ever tried to do this.
we leveled up 3 sessions ago.
I think that
And
you
this is the
can.
first time he's tried to cleave.
Go
The,
ahead,
the,
Lee.
the benefit seemingly of cleave in this situation would be that you can still move and do it, as opposed to with the double attack, you can't move and do it.
There are a
Yes.
lot of benefits of it. Yes,
Yes.
it is not garbage.
So, like in that situation, like I could have been like all the way on the other side of the room, ran over,
And
and then
still
used
got 2
cleave.
attacks. Exactly. At your best attack roll.
seemingly, I mean, based on what I'm
I think that's
seeing.
fully true. And as far as everything that we just read about Cleve in the same paragraph,
Can get
like
a
I think
full
that's
move
true.
and a standard.
because
You could be
because
40
it's
feet
just a
away,
standard.
still
It just
cleave.
counts as
Exactly.
standard. So you get to move and take those attacks without the minus to your second attack on the different enemy.
And Great Cleave allows you to move 40 feet into a perfect spot and take 8 attacks for all the people around you if you plan it out.
I think you can also use power attack at the same time, Lee.
Yeah, I don't pretend to. I'd kind of forgotten about power attack. I thought it just kind of traded up into cleave. I didn't realize that it was like apparently a stackable thing.
Yeah.
Because as I'm reading, people are
And
talking
power
about
attack
how they don't
grows
like
as you
cleave,
grow.
but power attack is actually better.
Yeah.
But power attack doesn't.
It's a roll of the dice. Power attack, yeah.
I don't see why people are saying power attack's better because it's only to hit the same opponent with just a higher damage.
It's just more damage. Yeah, it's just more damage.
It's just because you
it-
don't have to trade something for it as you do with cleave in a sense.
Yeah.
So power attack will remain as powerful as it is now. As many attacks.
Power attack, you can you can take as many attacks as you want. Sorry, hey, not mean to interrupt you. I didn't realize what I was going to say, but yeah, you can take as many attacks as you want with power attack on.
It's not like so. Cleave isn't perfect. Like it isn't perfect. It maybe if you were going to play the perfect character, you know what I mean, make the perfect game. It's not. Maybe you wouldn't take Cleave at the beginning because you're planning out whatever. But that's not the situation we're in. Because that's not the situation any of us have ever been. I've never ran characters this high level. None of us have. So I don't think it's something to just take too hard to say, I think this is the way Cleave works.
I think even if you could go back and take it, you would. Because it's powerful early game, it gets you there, and it gives you versatility late game. It gives you options. And as a fighter, you don't have options. I'm going to walk up and smack that guy. That's your only option. You want to have options as a fighter.
I do think also for Lupin specifically being the urban barbarian, you get that crowd control stuff that you have Lupin has impetus to if there's a fight, I want to be in the middle of it. Because you get +2 to AC for every situation in which you could cleave. You also have a +2 to AC. That rules.
It's only +1, but
it's a +1. Okay.
Still.
Okay. But still, just a +1 to AC every time you're in a situation to cleave, which means you can take that other attack without the minus to the second attack. Is for as much as cleave might not scale well as you level up, it works perfectly with that urban barbarian thing. But I don't think we need to get bogged down in it anymore. If you can live with that, Lee, I think that's fine. I think that cleave is going to continue to be a great thing, and you just have to.
It doesn't seem to be. People are just kind of saying that it does suck, like past like level 3, but you just need to get the stack on top of it. That's what people are saying. They're saying that like at some point when you get like either Great Cleave or Cleaving Finish or something like that, that it becomes like what 3.5 D&D is. I don't pretend to know what that is, but they're saying that that's better.
Okay. Well, that's the way a lot of feat trees are as well. That it's like, oh, you really, you really need to take this feat, then this feat, then this feat, and now you're at the place you meant to be. Like that's truly the way a lot of the feats are.
If Lee's reading similar stuff, what I was reading. I think what they're basically saying though is it's not worth wasting all those feats to get to the end of that feat tree. That's kind of the gist of it. Is like what's at the end of that feat tree isn't of value enough to start the way down that feat tree.
That everyone doesn't have to pick the thing that is the best in the game. You can pick what you want to do, Lee. If you want a Great Cleave stuff and you think that's fun, do that. Don't just pick something because forum posts say it's not optimal to kill the creatures the fastest way. That's my 2 cents.
I understand what you're saying, Alex. I just think we encourage Lee to go in a direction that maybe at the end of the day, his desire to play a character, he could have taken another feat. He could have gone down a different road with that feat point.
Yes, but what did you want us to do? Say, Lee,
Yeah.
choose your own thing? He didn't know enough at that point. We're not responsible. You know? And as he learns more, he's gonna grow, and the next character that he gets to play, or it's just it is what it is.
Yeah, I could
There's
just
also this
kill
thing called
Lupine.
whirlwind attack that people keep bringing up.
I don't even know what that is.
People keep bringing that up.
I've never had a fighter get that high.
But apparently, based on what I'm seeing, everybody keeps saying that the reason to take cleave is because you can still use your move action and still do it.
Which is, I mean, you have a 40-foot move too. Like that's big.
Yeah,
I still can't marry the idea of why, even though I didn't move, I wouldn't get that second one. So my first attack would only still feel like half of my standard action in that situation.
So, yeah, I still get why that seems weird in your head, but basically the way I guess the rules lay it out is since you didn't move, you can take your full attack, which right now is 2 attacks, or you can do cleave.
And
so
Lee,
how did cleave work?
just
when
to
I
be
didn't have
clear,
2
Lee,
attacks? Why could I make 2 attacks?
It was
Lee,
just a benefit.
Half of the internet is on your side, and half of it is not.
Yeah,
That's
I
just
see that, but
I understand what you're saying, and
Well,
I mean
it's
that's
up
fine.
to
I'm just
Peyton
trying
to
to
make
marry
a
the idea
call.
of why I was able to do the 2 attacks now before I was able.
I get it, and
no,
it's up to Hayden to make
because
a
that
call.
was the benefit of the feat. It allowed you to make 2.
So I've just outgrown the feat essentially to some degree.
in a certain
In
sense. In a
in
certain
this
sense,
very
in certain context.
specific
Yeah,
scenario,
exactly.
Right.
yes,
Exactly.
you outgrew it.
Exactly.
But
This isn't
guess
always going to
what?
be true, but we
In
find ourselves
4
in a position where you
levels,
do have to make a choice.
in 4 levels, when you have 3 attacks, you won't even care about cleave because you'll just be doing your 3 attacks. And
Okay, so did we come to an agreement on whether or not your 2 attacks have to be on the same person? Did we? That
according
kind of got open in
according
the
to
middle
the
of that as
rules,
well.
it says no. You don't need to specify the targets of your attacks, and that is different from. I didn't even know that.
So if that's the case, I wouldn't really need to cleave in the situation I'm in, right? I could just take both attacks, right?
But the benefit of cleave is you get your highest roll on both attacks.
Oh, instead of having to make that -5 on the second one.
Yeah.
So cleave is in this
strictly
specific
better than
scenario happens to be better right now.
It's strictly better than just making your 2 attacks. Yeah.
Okay. All right. So I hit the first one. I can't remember if I rolled the second one or not. I did roll damage on the first one. It was 13.
Did I write that down? That's 1.
Yes.
Okay, I got it.
To the page somehow.
I got it. You're good. 13 damage.
Yep.
And you did roll your second attack?
I don't think that I did.
I don't think you did either. Yeah, go ahead and roll that second attack. This guy's been hit a lot by Foxfire. A lot.
And this does not take that -5.
Correct.
So
for like 29 damage. Yep, go ahead. 29 damage is what Foxfire's poured into this one.
16.
More than that. 36 damage is what he's put in. And 16 kills it. Okay.
Come stealing my kills.
So that's the one that was grappling Mantle, now dead. Cool. All right, Lupine. Good job, everybody. Thank you for understanding. Lee, I'm sorry if you feel like we led you astray on Cleve. I don't think anyone certainly
I don't
did
feel led astray. I just in my I mean it's fine. I'm not complaining. Just in my brain, just the way that wording works, that doesn't marry in my brain. But if that's how we're gonna play it, that's fine. And I know that now.
Let's just play it that way. Yeah.
Dude,
cool.
So hey, question, since we're already so far down the rabbit hole. Hey, if he would have killed the one to the right first and broke the grapple with Mantle and then made an attack on the second one, would it have received flanking?
I think technically because of cleaving finish, if you kill a guy, you can't attack the next one.
What is cleaving finish? I don't have that, do I?
What?
He just says cleave. What are you saying?
I think cleaving finish allows you to keep attacking if you kill a guy. And so I think otherwise you can't keep attacking if you kill a guy. We don't have to get into that right now.
Well, let's not get into that.
No. Normally, you could still it doesn't matter if you kill anyone or not. It's just he makes his first attack, then he would make his second attack. That's what it says in the
Pause.
rules.
Pause on that. Pause on that. Even maybe forever. And
Yeah,
now
I
it's
don't.
Mantle's
You're
turn.
way too deep in that cleave thing.
Mantle, you are free, and there's one more of these giant creatures left.
That's crazy though, because that means like, since I have 2 attacks now, I can attack 2 different people.
I
I
think
did
we're
not
all
know.
learning something.
I did not know that changed in Pathfinder. You do not need to specify the targets of your attacks. Holy shit.
What do you want to do, Mantle? Can you hear me, Austin?
Yeah, I don't know what. I can't roll a knowledge on these guys.
You should
So-
shoot through it into Lupin.
I can't shoot. So I don't know. Just hold my turn, I guess. I don't have any. I can't do anything. I mean, I could channel again, but nobody needs healing except me. So
Okay, that's it. All right. It's this thing's turn. Let's just have it make an attack on Lupin for fun. Lupin, a 19 doesn't hit, does it?
Yes.
Yes. Oh crap.
Well,
Give it up.
I think it does. Yeah, because the attacker gets the draw, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, you got it.
Okay. 6 points of damage plus an attempt to grapple you is coming. Does a 19 beat your CMD, Lupine?
Nope.
Damn.
You
Okay.
said 6 points of damage, right?
Yes. All right, Foxfire, that's you.
I'll step up and attack this guy.
Hey, hold on before he attacks. I might want to jump in. What's the casting thing where you like can cast and it doesn't, like when the guy's right beside you and you can cast? What do you have
Cast
to do?
defensively?
No,
You make a concentration check?
to cast a spell with a guy right beside me, like that's what I have to do is make a concentration check.
Yeah.
Yeah. You want me to look that up?
No, never mind. No, don't do it. Fuck.
It's like a spell magic.
10 plus twice the spell level, I believe. Let's see.
It
Am I right?
is. You must make a check. Blah 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 blah. You roll a d20, add your caster level, ability score modifier. So you would add your wisdom score modifier. Or distracting. But what are you making it against? Oh, if you take damage, so it's basically attack of opportunity. He has to try to hit you. If you get hit and you take damage, you roll a d20 plus your wisdom against
Okay.
DC 10
that's what
plus
it is.
the damage taken of plus the level of the spell.
Okay, sweet then. Yeah, then I will cast a spell before you go, Alex. Actually, no, I don't need to do that either. Never mind. Just go.
Cool.
All right. Does a 31 hit?
Yeah.
Does a 13 hit?
No.
So only 1 hit. 5 normal damage and 6 fire damage.
Right. That boy's still standing. All right. It is Lupin's turn? No, it's not.
Yeah, it is.
Already?
He goes after me. Yeah.
Yeah, I guess that's true, yeah. There's fewer people on the combat order now.
Hit the. He's the same guy, right?
Yeah.
Ooh. An 18, I think.
Oh, you
Ooh.
are flanking him now too.
No, so whatever pluses that gets.
Plus 2 more.
Okay, that's a hit.
So it's actually +2 to hit.
Yeah.
Okay. So a 20.
Yeah, it's a hit.
Cool. 18.
Oh, it's exactly what he had left.
Mm.
So you killed him. You killed him. You killed him. You killed him. All right, folks. Looks like we're out of turn order. Do you want to search the manor, or do you want to call it before you search the manor?
I want to go to bed.
I think bed is probably.
I can go here and go here and then go here and then go to bed.
I'm gonna go sleep on this couch.
So I just looked up cleaving finish, and yeah, I'll need somebody to look at that and tell me the fucking difference between the two things.
Dude, Lee, I'm with you.
The only thing I can see is that cleave makes you take a -2 to your AC like afterwards, but I'm not sure that.
Oh,
I assume that just you drop that is what that is. Cleaving finish.
Cleaving finish. If you make a melee attack and your target drops to 0 as a result of your attack, you can make another melee attack using your highest base attack bonus against this opponent. You can only make one extra attack per round with this. Oh,
So it
no,
reads
this
almost
is
identical.
static. This is static. You don't have to say I'm cleaving. If you kill anyone ever, you can
Got it.
then make another attack against somebody beside them. That's
Got
what this
Oh.
feat does. This is what the old cleave did, and that is powerful and a legit reason to have taken cleave in the first place. With how hard you slap, dude, just to get
Okay.
another free
So you
attack.
don't take a -2 on that though.
No, there's no -2. There's nothing. It's
Okay.
basically, Lee, you'll get like 4 attacks in the future. If you're just fucking wailing into somebody, hit them 4 times and they die, you can just hit somebody else for free. That's what this does.
How do you know that's static, Alex, rather than just
Because
writing
it just
underneath?
says if you make a melee attack and your target drops to 0 or fewer hit points as a result of your attack. This is any time. If you make a melee attack and somebody, you don't have to call it.
Oh.
It just says if you make a melee attack and your target drops to 0. It's not saying if you make this melee attack or if you're, you know what I'm saying?
Okay.
Yeah,
Interesting.
that's pretty slick. That's how cleave used to work in D&D. And great cleave
Oh,
was
okay.
like you can just keep killing shit. If you kill that guy with a swing, you can kill somebody else with a swing. Kill somebody else with a swing.
Well,
But they all have to be
okay.
like adjacent and within reach of you without moving, I assume.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I want to know what whirlwind attack is because I've never even heard of that before. But it sounds
People were
cool.
making it sound like essentially you could just keep hitting
like a
people up to a
spin
certain amount of times.
Holy shit.
Well,
This feat has so many prerequisites. When you use the full attack action, blah blah, you can give up your regular attack and instead make one melee attack at your highest bonus against everyone within reach.
well, folks, I'm sorry that the last 2 sessions have ended somewhere in that last bit with extreme consternation about specific rules and rolling. But just the nature of running into weird things, also at a late time of night.
Yeah. Tired and grumpy.
Yeah.
I'm not grumpy about it. I just